Hi, so my name is Robyn Taylor. Right now I'm based at Open Lab at Newcastle University. I'm originally, as you can probably tell from my voice, originally from Canada, but I've been living here for coming up on 9 years now. So it's been a really good time over here in the UK. I've been loving it. So so I'm based at Open Lab at Newcastle University. And the type of work that I do is I stage participatory performances to explore social encounters with technologies in public spaces. So what we're doing is we're making sort of different kinds of performances where we invite the audience to come and take part with us. And so we get sort of two things out of this. We not only do we get to make really fun performances that everyone gets to enjoy and take part in, but we're also doing this as a form of research, human-computer interaction design research, understanding how people interact with non-traditional, playful technologies in actual public environments. You can see us in some sort of like concert venues, museums, or even street fronts. We did a piece in a shop window once. So I came to this work with experience in two very different backgrounds, music and computer science. So I trained in classical voice and I released my first CD at 18. I'd been promoting my music and performing and working in Edmonton for several years. My preferred genres of music to work in were cabaret and jazz, so very improvisational types of music. What I liked the most about those kinds of pieces, about that kind of work, is that every time you perform something, it should be different, because you have a different combination of people in the room, not just the performers on the stage, but the audience that were in the room to share the experience with you. So I think what's really exciting about that is you have so much opportunity to improvise and to work with all the people and sort of aspects of the space that you're in, or aspects of the type of performance it's meant to be. There's just so many different factors that goes into making each experience special and each experience unique. So as is well known, I was very well aware that earning a full living as a singer was not going to be very easy. So in particular, I thought, okay, well, until I hit the big time, I'm going to need to make sure that I have something that I can do to bring in a bit of money. And I was always quite a bit of a nerd in school, so I was very interested to go to university and try to see what kind of other career I might find interesting going alongside doing with the music. So when I entered the uni, I didn't actually know what I wanted to do there. I took a general year at the University of Alberta studying some general courses, so arts and science, all that kind of stuff. And I'd always really enjoyed messing around with the computer. So like what Jocelyn was telling us earlier, I'd always liked hacking around with HTML and making websites, enjoying myself, like playing around online, using the internet. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll take the introductory computing science courses. And I found I really enjoyed them. I found them very intellectually challenging. I was very competitive, so I enjoyed trying to see if I could do better than the boys sometimes, which is like a little bit funny, but we had a really good group of people at our uni, and so, I have to say there was a fairly good mix of genders, so both boys and girls, we all got to work together. And I really enjoyed sort of the camaraderie of the experience. It really was a fun thing to do. So I thought to myself I had a pretty good plan. I was going to, I was obviously had an aptitude for computing science, so I'd find myself a job as a programmer, and I would still be able to maintain and develop and hopefully keep on increasing my career as a musician. So I thought this was going to work out just great. So in 2001, I started working at a GIS company, so Global Information Systems. We specialized in non-essential applications for the airline industry, so entertainment apps, that sort of thing. So I was like thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to work these two jobs, continue my music in the evening, and I rapidly became completely burnt out. I really loved sort of the camaraderie and challenge of doing computing science at the uni, but when I found that I was programming full-time in a professional environment, I realized that to do a good job at my job, I really needed to be fairly solitary, alone, facing the screen, getting stuff done all day long, and I found I was really not well suited for it. I really wanted to be talking to people out there, meeting people and doing things, and I found that to do a good job of being a full-time programmer, it really wasn't working with my personality. I was a very social creature, so I found this really hard. But life has a way of shaking things up. So if you remember, this is 2001, so after September 11th, non-essential airline applications like in-flight entertainment and that suddenly was completely not a priority for any of the major airline industries. So I was made redundant. And I was like, it's a bit shocking to lose your job, but I have to say I was secretly extremely relieved because I really needed out of that position. I didn't know what I was going to do at that point. I thought, what on earth? I spent 4 years doing a degree that I don't like. What am I going to do? but I thought, okay, I'm just going to return to what I know. So I headed back to the University of Alberta, and I went to the Department of Computing Science, and I was like, are there any jobs going? Because I really need some sort of a job. And I remembered I'd had a good time when I was here, so I found out that there was an opening for a research associate at the Advanced Man-Machine Interface Laboratory. So that was the virtual reality lab at the University of Alberta. So I thought, okay, even if programming isn't really a career choice for me, maybe I could find another way to make this work. So the laboratory director, Pierre Boulanger, was an absolutely fantastic person to meet for me. He really encouraged us to look at the incredible technologies we had in the lab, to put them at our disposal, to find out ways that we could make what we were passionate about happen using strange and crazy and wild cutting-edge technologies. So in Pierre, I found a collaborator who really shared my passions for music and the arts, as well as the technology. Pierre eventually became my PhD supervisor. He loved opera, he loved jazz, and he was really excited to see how I could use advanced technologies to extend my creative practice as a vocalist. So together we got involved with using technology to create arts applications at the Banff New Media Institute in Canada. And I returned then to full-time academic studies to continue on to get my master's and PhD in computing science. So through interdisciplinary work, I was able to return back to my origins as a musician. As you can see, I'm much happier now outside of working at this office. I'm now a happy person again, working back in music and tech. I was also now back to making very little money, but I was contributing to research in a field that I'm passionate about. So I worked at the ANU Lab in Alberta for several years, and then in 2007 I was invited by Patrick Olivier to come join his team here at Newcastle University in Open Lab, and that's where I've been since. So I'll talk briefly about some of the projects we've done at Open Lab. This is a piece called Human Aquarium. It is probably the most exciting piece I've worked on, definitely been sort of the most high profile. Our team members, you can see my colleagues, Guy Schofield and John Shearer. We come from a whole lot of different diverse backgrounds, so we span the fields of fine art, music, computer science, curatorial practice, and we really enjoyed working together as a team, and we all tried to get our hands dirty on all aspects of the work. I even sort of set my hair on fire doing a bit of soldering, but we did compose the music together, we built the hardware together, and we really did work as a really close-knit team, which was a lot of fun for us. We performed this piece called Human Aquarium for over a year. We did about 50 performances, toured through Europe, came back to North America a bit. And with this project, I really did get a chance to return to my roots in music. So if you remember, I said my favorite style of music was jazz, improvisation, cabaret, that sort of thing. A large aspect of this style of music is improvisational. It follows a loose score or a chart, but the majority of the things that happen during the performance unfold as a result of the combination of people and energies and just different aspects of what that particular performance is at that particular time. We wanted to investigate how technology could help us explore these sorts of dialogues that happen between musicians as they intuitively work together when they're performing in this style of music. So we wanted to see how technology could help us with that. So with Human Aquarium, we wanted to enable this sort of dialogue between ourselves and members of the public. So you can see how it worked as the structure is this Human Aquarium box. Inside it, Guy and I are inside. I'm singing, Guy is playing several different instruments, some synthesizers, some acoustic instruments. And the front screen of the Human Aquarium is a touch screen. We used FTIR technology so that people could touch the screen, and the touches that they made would affect the parameters of the music, the sounds, effects placed on my voice, some visuals that were being projected in the back. So as people touched it, they would see colors, they would see lights, they would hear sounds changing, and they would be able to jam with us and make this piece, co-create the performance together. So for about a year, we performed through France, Germany, all over the UK, 2 international flights back and forth to Canada. The aquarium cost more to fly than I did. We did manage to get a lot of really high-profile work out of it, so it wasn't like just doing silly lab experiments. We were actually doing professional performance work, so it was quite fun. You can see we're featured in Wired, got to be presented on Radio 3, which was actually really funny because the guy was interviewing me and he's like, "You out there on the radio can't see this woman, but I can, and I have one word to describe her: burlesque." And I just went, right then, burlesque, okay. So it wasn't just, the thing was, it wasn't just a performance project, it was also a piece of HCI research. So we've been able to do ACM publications about the project. We've been featured in a new book that's just come out about participatory art. So it is actually a good piece of academic research, as well as, for me, a really good time and fun to put together such a nice, fun piece of performance. But some other ones, I'll just run quickly through this one though, because I mean, we're going to get back to talking about some more aspects of how this is an interesting way to do research. So in Night Gallery, we replaced me, who's sitting inside the box, with this animatronic bird, and this bird you could sing to and talk to, and he would chirp back to you. And what we did as performers was we sort of functioned as his like minders and minions, and we would sort of present him as if he was some sort of carnival oddity. And so it was a bit more of a theater piece, this. So we might take it to a maker fair or to an exhibition, but we would really present it like a piece of theater rather than like a tech demo. So it is really a different way to work, performing your research. So what kinds of things does this allow us to do? How does this differ from the kinds of research that's often done in laboratories? So for one, we get to authentically evaluate public settings. These kinds of things are done in real street fronts, in real concert halls, in real public places. So we get to go outside of the traditional lab setting. Because what we are doing is building these unfamiliar, novel technologies, we do get to explore non-traditional tech use, again, in non-traditional settings. So we do get to evaluate HCI technologies in a way. We have the opportunity to present our work theatrically, so instead of just putting it out there dry, we're there alongside it in costume, performing, to sort of perform and craft the way that we hope that the technologies will be experienced and understood. So we say these types of technologies really scaffold us as skilled storytellers or performers. They don't have to stand alone, they're there for us to work with, to help the audience make sense of. And I think that we get to perform these pieces in dialogue with participants and work together to try to share an understanding of what's happening in these kinds of situations. So I think for me the most interesting aspect from a research perspective is by taking part in these kinds of these types of exhibitions alongside the public, we do get to have a chance to understand our own designs from within and to experience them authentically alongside the public. So to do a good job of this kind of work, it was important that I would bring back the skills that I learned as a performing singer and musician. And so due to doing this kind of work, I've had so many interesting experiences that fulfill me both as an academic and also as a singer. So I've performed at Festival on the Isle of Wight, I was on BBC Radio 3, I've even taken part in a seminar about improvisational music practice at the Guildhall School of Music. So these are all things that, as a singer, I would think, wow, that's done a lot for me, for my career, in a completely non-traditional direction. But it's just been an absolutely fabulous time for me, really enjoyed it. So exploring technology really changed the way that I made my art. But using art to explore, it really changed the way that I was able to understand the experiences of technology. So if I look back to 2001 when I was made redundant from a job that I hated, being forced to make a change really helped me find a way back to what it was that I loved. And then salary-wise, I guess I've gone back to a performing arts wage as well. But I didn't have to start over and throw away every aspect of what I learned. Instead, because I remained open to finding new ways to work, I was able to bring music and technology together to make art and research in a way that really resonates for me. So it's been a strange road to get to this point, but I would absolutely not change it because I've just found it to be wonderful and completely unexpected. So these are just some of my colleagues, some of my funders that I work with. And if you'd like to follow up with me, you can reach me on Twitter at Human Aquarium. Thank you so much for having me. Thank
you, that was great. Robyn's actually been to speak at my lab before, so I'm always a bit more like just a match and performance, and that's the kind of realm I came from as well. So it's like music, technology, and then falling into roles. And I think that does happen. Sometimes life changes, right, and something happens and forces you into something, and it's about making the most of those opportunities. So back in, you said 2001?
2001.
What was your first coding language then?
Well, in school, in the early uni, they didn't teach us a lot of work in Pascal. Turbo Pascal was our teaching language.
Okay.
And then we jumped straight, that was only just sort of as a rudimentary teaching language, then we jumped straight into C, C++, and my work did all take place in C++, so it was proper hardcore coding. It was I found it fun, but I think I was just treating it like a bit of a challenge like that. I don't think it got through my head that doing that for 8 hours a day on only that really didn't suit my personality. It was a great intellectual challenge and fun, but when it became an all-day thing, I lost the fun really quickly because I needed a context for it to be able to really appreciate what was fun about it.
do we have any questions for Robyn about performance and merging with technology, or the projects that she's worked on? Over here at the front, right?
Hi there. I'm just curious about the idea about the human aquarium. Could you tell a little bit more what was going on with that thing?
Well, I think what we wanted to do was we wanted to think of something a bit like a busking environment, you know, like when you see street performers, even guys sitting with their guitars by the roadside. And so the original thing, we have a little drawing somewhere and we still got it, was just the idea of us sitting side by side, one of us with a guitar, one with a mic. And then we thought, what if you were busking and there was a way to use technology to jam with the buskers? And so then we thought, well, how can we do it? And then we did a lot of work in our laboratory with tabletops. And we didn't see any reason why a tabletop, a touch-sensitive tabletop, couldn't actually just be a clear glass window that didn't have the graphics behind it. So if we kept it transparent, then you would see us. And it was also kind of mysterious because you had no idea how it was supposed to work. So if we sat on the ground, we put this sort of enclosure around us, then it was sort of up to us as buskers to try to encourage people to come up, and we get them to touch our hands through the window. And that was really part of the investigation, was to see how you could get people to use a window as an interaction system with absolutely no visual indication that there was anything to be done with it. So we did a lot of stuff to change up how we encouraged people to work with it, and that really did form part of the research aspect of the project.
Any other questions? Is it a bit like the lunch situation? You're aware that there's cake. Somewhere there's cake. Can't quite smell it yet, but somewhere there's definitely a lot. 360 cakes, actually. So don't worry, they're not going anywhere. There are a couple of announcements. Yes, thank you to Robyn. Let's give her a round of applause.